Across the ancient world, civilizations separated by oceans, continents, and millennia preserved remarkably similar memories of a great catastrophe. These accounts appear in myths, sacred texts, oral traditions, and ritual symbolism. They describe not local disasters, but events so overwhelming that they reshaped the world itself. For centuries, these stories were dismissed as allegory or superstition, yet when viewed collectively, they reveal a pattern too consistent to ignore. Ancient cultures did not describe catastrophe as an abstract idea. They described water swallowing cities, fire falling from the sky, the earth trembling, and the sky itself changing. These stories were not presented as distant legends. They were framed as memories passed down from survivors. In Mesopotamia, the Epic of Gilgamesh tells of a great flood sent to erase humanity, sparing only those warned in advance. Similar accounts appear in the Hebrew tradition, in which a flood resets the world and restarts civilization through a single surviving lineage. In ancient India, texts describe Manu being warned of an incoming deluge that would destroy all life unless he prepared. In China, early records speak of catastrophic floods that drowned vast regions and required heroic efforts to restore order. Across the Pacific, indigenous Australian traditions tell of a time when the land was reshaped by rising waters and fire from the sky. In the Americas, Mesoamerican civilizations recorded multiple world ages, each ending in destruction. The Maya described previous creations destroyed by flood and chaos. The Aztecs believed they lived in the fifth world, preceded by four others that ended catastrophically. What is striking is not just the similarity of these accounts, but their shared structure. They describe warning, destruction, survival, and renewal. They are not stories of divine punishment alone. They are narratives of reset. For a long time, historians treated these parallels as coincidence or cultural borrowing. But many of these civilizations had no contact with one another. Their shared memory demands a different explanation. Geological evidence increasingly suggests that the ancient world experienced sudden and severe disruptions near the end of the last ice age. Around 12,000 years ago, Earth underwent rapid climate shifts. Glaciers melted abruptly. Sea levels rose dramatically. Entire coastlines vanished beneath the ocean. Regions that had supported human habitation for thousands of years were suddenly submerged. For early civilizations, especially those living along coasts and rivers, such changes would have been catastrophic. Cities, trade routes, and food systems would have been erased within generations, if not lifetimes. Survivors would have fled inland, carrying memories of a drowned world. These events were not slow enough to be forgotten quietly. They would have been remembered as endings. In addition to flooding, evidence points to periods of intense climatic instability. Sudden cooling, extreme drought, and widespread fires appear in geological records. Ice cores reveal abrupt temperature changes within decades. Sediment layers show massive flooding events. Charcoal deposits suggest widespread burning. Ancient people may not have understood the scientific causes of these events, but they understood their impact. Their stories preserve emotional truth rather than technical detail. What modern science describes as rapid climate change, ancient cultures described as the end of an age. Critically, these memories were not treated as isolated disasters. They were framed as turning points. The world before was different. The world after was rebuilt. This suggests that ancient civilizations did not see history as linear. They saw it as cyclical. Ages rose, fell, and began again. The idea of a global reset is unsettling because it challenges the assumption that civilization is continuous. If previous advanced societies existed and were erased, then history is not incomplete due to ignorance alone, but interruption. This would explain why ancient knowledge appears suddenly and disappears just as abruptly. It would explain why myths describe gods teaching survivors how to rebuild. It would explain why early civilizations seemed to restart with advanced understanding rather than primitive beginnings. The flood stories may not be literal in every detail, but taken together, they point to a shared human memory of catastrophe on a global scale. The ancient world did not preserve these stories for entertainment. They preserved them as warnings. They understood that the planet itself could end an age, and they believed it had already done so before. Subscribe to this channel for more.